Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militiaman and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Good evening everybody, Militiaman and Crew. We're just coming to you guys to talk to you just in brief. This is going to be like a shorty. I just want you guys to know that we're following along, and the biggest interest I think that we see with Iraq and the Iraq-Dinar related topics, which all you guys can find in our patreon.com/MMANDCREW. Okay, just come in and check us out. But remember too is that we appreciate all you guys' help, and since Monday's call, I want to say that thank you for all the nice verbiage from everybody. The feedback was good. And thank you again for hitting that like button, that subscribe. Thank you very much for that. And also thank you for supporting Militiaman and Crew by using Zelle, Venmo, and PayPal. It helps us dearly. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, so the Ministerial Council of Economy, the MCOE, is, I can't emphasize this enough, is that realize that al-Sudani, the Prime Minister, put this together when he was in first coming into office in a very short period of time. And if you look at the 28 members, everybody was acknowledged on the same day if you go to their website. So that's something you guys can look that up. Is it terribly important? No, but it's a curiosity, because today nobody's changed as far as I can tell. So everybody that's been placed at that MCOE level, Ministerial Council of Economy, with the federal government, is obviously in place, and they're there for a reason. They have a job to do, and al-Sudani is the one that is going to dominate in all cases when it really comes down to it, because he's the top dog, right? Okay, it's on his shoulders. Perfect, no problem. When it comes to the Kurdistan region, they have a similar association and counterparts. It's pretty common, but realize that the federal government is the top. That's just the way it's going to be. These meetings that were in Kurdistan, in Erbil, were probably going to be known as that olive branch, if you will. Let's do business. Let's get it together. Let's put everything on the table, and let's do some things. Let's just do and move forward for all the people, not just the elite, not for any of that. Just let's get the business to a unified situation. Remember all the words that they were using in all the articles last week and a few days ago? They were using unification, unified. They want the unified treasury account. They put that in place a long time ago. To me, it's a long time, could be 6 months, but they put it together and they have a unified treasury account. So keep those things in mind, and we're just going to get through this in brief. The Ministerial Council of the Economy recommended holding a special session at the high level to discuss files of oil, energy, border, ports, crossings. Okay, so those are pretty big money streams, are they not? I mean, think about the imports that Iraq has to do, because they import a lot of goods, but they also export a lot of oil. But now they've changed things to be a little bit different. They're going to be doing what they've set out to do in the last 18 to 24 months. They set out to do the private sector, and that private sector is going to have inputs and outputs. The country is going to have inputs and outputs, but the private sector is going to help drive the demand for those items. So we might have less inputs and some significant more outputs. They may offset each other over time. But the bottom line is, I'm not an economist. I am not. But I like what we're seeing, because the point is that oil drives money. Energy, other sources, liquid natural gas, whatever, drives money. The borders and ports bringing in inputs, goods, right, creates an environment. They have taxes, fees at the ports, customs, etc. So that's big. So anyway, this last weekend, over those 2 days, they were there to what? To discuss a range of issues of common interest between the federal government and the Kurdistan regional government. So the meeting of the minds happened. It says that the atmosphere was positive and it was frank in dealing with these issues, and some of them were addressed with immediate decisions. So they had some things that were done that were immediate. Like they obviously knew the importance of those things. And that's big, because what is it? It's basically a token to all those at the meeting and to the others that they meant what they were doing. That's how I would read that. It says, through the meeting, a recommendation was made to the Federal Council of Ministers, stressing continuation of dialogues to address issues that needed to be have more meetings and dialogues, of course, because they're going to have meetings and dialogues forever. But anyway, they go on to say that the Federal Ministry of Finance needed to or has to address the salaries of the Kurdistan region. And I believe that they 100% will. But you guys got to remember, though, there's a lot of impropriety, if you would. People were like on the list that don't exist. I mean, they don't have a biometric card on these guys or people. And if they don't, then it's subject to the audits that they have. So they needed to get everybody to the stage of like, look, we're going to a digital system. We're going to effectively a blockchain system, if you will. They're going to do a system that is going to be transparent. And all of that is going to be very, very, very important. Probably so important that they have had to iron that out. And that could have been over those 2 days. But the bottom line is that we're going to find that these things that they were doing are probably going to be in line at the end of the day. Because when control comes to who's at the top, the answer, you guys will probably get it right off the bat. I already said it. Al-Sudani. It's his game. The Kurdistan region is not the top dog. They're just not. And so obviously they have a say in things. They have a constitutional say. They have constitutional rights. So keep that in mind. They do. And they're going to get those. But they might get them whether they like it or not. All right? That's basically how I look at it. That's how I look at it. I think there's some other people out there in the world that are just as, or brighter than me, I should say. Because there's some really bright people out there all over the world. And again, I want to say thank you for all of you folks that are around the world. I mean, 24/7. And all of you that put up with me being late, putting out stuff. My time is not late, but your time could be like, what? 4 o'clock in the morning. It could be 12 o'clock at night. Sorry, but I get the information out. You guys go to sleep, relax, turn me on in the morning if you want. Have your coffee on your way to work, that type of stuff. It's brilliant. And again, I want to say thank you because you guys help support bringing us the ability to keep working, because everybody's got jobs, everybody's got bills to pay, if you will, but thank you for your help. I want to reiterate that because it means a lot to me. Okay, Ministerial Council of Economy recommended, so that the MCOE recommends the Federal Council of Ministers to direct the Federal Ministry of Finance to address the salaries of excluded regional employees due to their non-registration of biometrics. They bring it up. Issues are related to the unification of agricultural calendar, import and export licensing, export and laboratory licenses, registration of companies, classification of contractors, borders, ports, customs, oil, file, energy, and the banking sector. All of those things were discussed. So think about that. That is a lot of data in just 2 days. Just 2 days. So the continuous work of the joint committees between the ministries and the concerned sectors to complete the tasks entrusted to them. And what did they do? What they're looking for? They're looking to reach joint understandings that benefit all of the citizens. Now that right there is specifically on Al-Sudani, because that's his game. If you guys realize that the street, they called it, in an article the other day, specifically says they're behind al-Sudani. If you remember when it was really big and there was some, angst going on in the country, and al-Sadr comes and he was going to bring the street involved, and when he brought in millions, so that tells you a story is that al-Sudani has the street. He has millions of people of support for what he's doing. So when it's all said and done, when it comes down to it, I think his leverage is going to be powerful. So it's all really good. The Kurdistan Region of Economic Council, the Kurdistan Region Economic Council, counterpart, right, called for a joint meeting with the Ministerial Council for Economy in Baghdad. Okay, so that's the statement right there that probably caused some turmoil, but to some people, but that's okay. But the fact remains is that we're probably going to see some evidence that they don't always tell us everything in public, but we're going to find out if they have these meetings, because at this stage of the game, it's push come to shove. And al-Sudani is probably back to a wall, because I think there's probably some legal ramifications that are in the wind. Remember, there's some things that are talked about on the internet that are true. If you go to the the judiciary website of Iraq, you're going to notice that there's some things missing, one in specific. So keep that in mind. And that number might be 4782. Okay, so 4782, if it's missing, there's a reason for it. Because today they published 4792. And subsequently, all of the different ones too. We're just missing that one. So there's obviously a reason for it, and they have to have, it's got to have some sort of a sensitivity issue to it. Okay, so I like the sounds of all of the stuff that these two meetings did for me. I like it all. The discussions that to basically affect or will have effect on many revenue streams is really big. It's basically them talking to the world, because they're going to have a massive amount of income streams. So if they have a special session that's set up, they could have had that today, they could have it tomorrow, they could have it the next day. But the bottom line is that they're going to have these meetings because they pretty much can't stop. I can see it with al-Sudani's actions, and the fact that Iraq has certain things that have time limits when it comes to the legalities. There's time limits, and I think that they're backed up to a wall. Al-Sudani probably knows that. I think the Kurds probably know that too, and they probably realize that they they can do all the manship, if you will, as they put it in the article the other day that I posted. That manship is probably, could say workmanship, it could be brinkmanship, it could be craftsmanship, but I got a strong feeling that what that manship means is brinkmanship, and that's what was going on this weekend, this past weekend. And are they back in town today? They don't publicly state specifically that, but are they about to be? They could be. Were they here today? I don't know. We'll see. Were they there today? I don't know. We're going to see. But the fun part is that if it's true that we've witnessed them tell us all of these things in writing, that they have specific issues, and they show us things on their own site, their own judiciary site, that they're missing something. And what are we waiting for? We're waiting for something that's been missing, in my opinion. All right? So it says, this is the next article. The regional government welcomes the decisions and recommendations of the joint meeting of the Federal Kurdistan Economic Councils. So, all right, so the regional government makes decisions. They appreciate them. Recommendations, appreciate them. Of what? Those meetings that they had with the federal government and the Kurdistan Economic Councils. So it says here, the Kurdistan Regional Government on Wednesday welcomed the decisions and recommendations of the joint meeting of the Ministerial Council of the Federal Economy and the Economic Council of the Kurdistan Region. It says that the Prime Minister, Masar Barzani, chaired a meeting of the Council of Ministers of the Kurdistan Region government today in the presence of his deputy, Talabani, adding that the main axis of the meeting was to discuss the results of the joint meeting of the Ministerial Council of the Federal Economy, which is the government, and the Economic Council of Kurdistan region in, okay, that's Kurdistan federal government, so the two entities did it in Erbil on the 8th and 9th of September to discuss what the procedures and steps of implementation, and they made decisions, well, or steps of implementation of the decisions that were made, and the recommendations that emanated from the joint meetings and specialized offices, because they were what? Specialized offices of the Council of the Kurdistan region, federal government, so the counterparts, right? They're focusing in on this stuff. It's fascinating, everybody. So that there's no excuse for the federal ministers. So there's no excuse now, because they must have done something. They must have come to at least a significant agreement to what? State, so that there's no excuse for the Federal Ministry of Finance to stop and delay the disbursement of financial dues to the employees of the region from their salaries. To me, they secured it. They just stated it. That's my view on that. Okay, so the Council of Ministers, this a statement that was added. It says they welcomed these decisions and the recommendations, of course, right, of these two councils. It says the decision of the meeting of the Federal Council of Ministers yesterday regarding the continuation. So this is yesterday, but this was out, I believe it was today, but don't quote me on it. Yeah, no, it's out today, but they said yesterday. So anyway, Saturday, Sunday, a little bit misleading, doesn't matter, but don't hold me to the dates. We're talking about one day, if I'm wrong. Okay, the decision of the meeting of the Federal Council of Ministers yesterday regarding the continuation of the Federal Ministry of Finance to pay the salaries of Kurdistan regional employees who were deprived of their salaries. So basically, they are looking at paying these people. So that you guys got to realize this is going to get good. Okay, it says that the statement points out the Council of Ministers, in addition to confirming council ministries to implement the obligations, especially continuing to complete the procedures for introducing the job grades, unregistered employees, observations, other points, new amended list of employees. Okay, so new amended list of employees. So in other words, it probably got a lot shorter. In other words, there wasn't 50,000, so there's only like 40, or there's only 20. Okay. Anyway, I just find that funny, is that they've been tapping the keg for so long that they just... Could you imagine like getting two salaries for 20 years? I mean, are they going to claw that money back? I don't know. I just find that just insane. If you can't prove you don't have all the biometrics, where'd everybody go? Well, where's the cemeteries? I'm sorry, you can run with that, you guys. I'll let you guys do it. But I find humor in it. Well, it's serious, because it's not doing any goods for the citizens. There are people that are stealing billions and hundreds of billions of dollars, and they've been doing it for 20 years. They should have a transparent government. They should have a transparent system. They should be able to shut down the taxes and tariffs and borders, the graft that's been going on. They should have a level playing field. They should have a real effective exchange rate that represents a true Iraqi economy and a true Iraqi value. The assets that the country they haven't all been disclosed yet, everyone. I'm pretty sure of it. I don't know for 100% because I didn't do all the surveys and the geological circumstances for the country of Iraq, but they've got a lot of untapped resources. And they do, as they already stated, they have all the major deposits of major things, sulfur, phosphates. They have big gold deposits. That's just a fact. So look, the country has the ability to tap into that keg of the taxes and tariffs at the borders, the economic religious tourism. Iraq is an ancient country. They have tourism ability forever. It's a place that the Muslims, they go to on a regular basis every year. Look at the numbers of the millions of people that visit Iraq. Millions every year. They got to be fed, food, housed, clothing, entertained. Get it? I mean, when's the last time you went out to, I don't know, In-N-Out Burger, for instance? You know, you got a family of 5 because they have like 4, 5, 6 kids, right? You go to In-N-Out Burger, and what's it going to cost you? Yeah, probably going to cost you $100 or more for that one meal, just for those people. Think about that in the millions. That's what kind of revenue stream we're talking about. There's a little bit of taxes on all of that stuff. So put that into your calculator and see what you think. So let's see, where was I? Okay, so they added the list of employees. I got sidebarred, you guys. In the region, the job grades will be sent as soon as possible. So they say as of early, so they're going to send the money as early as next week. Next week begins what? Sunday. But Sunday's a holiday, isn't it? Sunday is the Prophet Muhammad's birthday. That's a big day. So are they going to do that on Sunday? Okay, we'll see. Maybe not, but to the extent that what? The Federal Ministry of Finance is basically stating, in return, the federal government will send the supplementary section of the salaries of the past months, which were the previous, I guess that's August, September, and previous, right? Which were suspended in order to distribute the salaries of last August, there it is, to the employees of the region and the necessary preparation for the equivalence. Find that interesting they use the word equivalence. I don't think out of all the years that I've been doing this, I don't know that they've actually issued that. Now that's something that I've talked about. I think that's something that our militiaman and crew have talked about. And I think that's probably where I've talked about this equivalency in other sites that I've been at in the past. But anyway, they say necessary preparation for the equivalence of salaries for the month of September for their peers in the rest of the Iraq regions. So when we're talking about equivalence, that means that they're going to get paid in something that might look different, but it's going to have the same value, right? So level playing field, powerful word. I think it's very powerful. I think it's gotten lost, and they did this today. They talked about equivalence. They go on to state that they raised these topics with the federal government, which emerged from a joint understanding during the joint meeting of the Federal Economic Council and the region. Okay, those two. And they were all related to what? Agricultural timings, export and import licensing, laboratory licensing. I wonder if that's pharmaceuticals. I wouldn't be surprised. Registration of contractors, foreign business people, right? Okay. Border crossings. Oh, taxes, tariffs, customs. Oh, here we are. Customs, oil, energy, and the banking sector of all things. Everybody's going to get what? Equivalency. Contracts. It's just phenomenal to me. So moving on, the statement that today was pointed out by the council ministers, which basically states they instructed the concerned ministers to continue work of the interior ministerial committees, the concerned sectors in the two governments, of course, and to what they want. What do they want? They want them to complete the tasks assigned to them in order to reach a common understanding that is in the interest of all Iraqi citizens within the framework of the Constitution. Got to remember, equivalency is going to come down to what? The citizens' rights that are allowed in the Constitution. And we're talking about a lot of money, you guys. A lot of money is coming in, and one of their constitutional rights is probably going to be a share of that revenue streams, those accurately revenue streams. Doesn't that kind of reek of the hydrocarbon law? I'm wondering what that 4792 in the judiciary was about. I haven't read it yet. Maybe you guys know. But I got a strong feeling there might be a correlation to that. We'll see. They go on to state that Mansour Barzani, top dog in the Kurdistan region, reiterated that the Kurdistan region will always continue to carry out its tasks. So he's basically reassuring Baghdad and you and I that what? We're willing and we're going to do what we said we're going to do. And we hope in return that when we do what we said we're going to do, we get the respect and constitutional rights, and the federal entity of the Kurdistan region get it. They get what they have, the constitutional rights. And that's where they're leaving it. Lastly, it says the Economic Council of the Kurdistan region to approve these recommendations of the joint meeting with the Federal Ministry of Economic Council. So the Kurds and the Baghdad, right? They are basically saying to themselves that they are going to effectively approve the recommendations of this meeting between the two. In what? Preparing to hold a joint meeting with the Economic Council of Ministers in Baghdad to continue meetings and sessions in order to reach an appropriate solution to the remaining issues. So there you have it, you guys. One of the key factors I want you to come back to is that the fascinating thing is that they will have equivalence. That's a key word. Equivalent value to me is fair. What is fair? Being on a level playing field. So you guys enjoy your evening. Enjoy being with. I enjoyed sharing with you what we have today, Militiaman and Crew. And you guys, thank you so much for being with me. And I think everybody should be pretty positive, because I'll tell you what, if they're coming back, if they've been back, they're going to have to do what? Do what they said they were going to do. As I just pointed out, they have an agreement between the two sides. And Kurdistan region basically says it in their own way. So enjoy. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you very much for being with me. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content. Subscribe to the channel, or join us at the Militiaman and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much, and have a great day.